General nerdery.
You can tell we're rusty because we just did like 10 minutes of solid Superman conversation before we hit record on the fucking mics.
We just wasted it all.
Oh
Sorry
God,
for the
it's
shitty
gone.
episode to follow, guys.
So this means nothing to you guys because we planned ahead and we haven't missed anything. We've not recorded in like 6 weeks. So the energy might be a little fucky today.
Oh,
That's
I
all
am
I'm getting
rusty.
out there. Yeah, that's
Beyond rusty, we also are changing format slightly, so we're also on a new flight path, my dudes.
Anyways, welcome to General Nerdery, your podcast about liking things. I'm Zach.
I'm Tyler.
And today we are not talking about...
I'm Steven, sorry.
You didn't say anything. I was just going to keep going. That's Steven.
Hi, I'm Steven. Sorry, my brain, like we said, guys, we're a little bit rusty. I forgot how to introduce myself. I felt it. It was like, Steven, say something.
This is going great. This is, we had promised you Shorzy season...
Four?
Yes.
Yeah.
4. But that's apparently the cursed episode, because I think 3 times we tried to do that episode, and it just... something happened.
It's been 6 weeks since we recorded.
And it was only supposed to be a 3-week break. So we will get you that. We will try to get you that before the next season comes out. It won't be happening right away just because
Ooh,
time happens.
tiny bit of news. I saw that the production company locked down use of that stadium for 3 more years.
Oh, so we're getting like
Oh, wow.
7 seasons minimum? 8 seasons?
They've
Jesus.
been on a pretty quick shooting schedule. So.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
That's interesting. And that is something we will talk about elsewhere.
Yeah.
I almost said ingesting, but we're not doing that today. We're still doing batch episodes. Or I guess just... Well, yeah, I guess we can...
Yes.
I don't know what to say on this one because the change we're doing will come out before this episode comes out.
This is true.
Scheduling's fucking weird, guys. Don't worry about it. You
So for
already
the
know.
sake of explaining it, we're not doing ingesting like we normally would this episode.
But you already know that if you keep up with us stuff.
I hate this. I fucking hate this. Okay, you
So,
know what? I give in.
If you're a regular listener, you'll know that we're still in that time period.
I gotta
We
say,
haven't
now, it's
gotten
going to
accustomed
it's
to it
going
yet.
to kill me. So we are splitting the show into 2 shows where we will have this, which are kind of evergreen episodes where we just talk about the subject, and then our more freeform. Everything we do is freeform. Our more like, what's news? What's trailers? What have we been ingesting? Will be added
That hot
onto a-
freshness.
added onto a second show.
If you need that new,
Go watch go listen to GNN. I guess you could watch it. We are on like YouTube Music now.
yeah. Theoretically, if we ever do anything live, it'll be there.
And you will have already...
So you could potentially watch us.
Okay. And we apologize if this is boring because you've already heard the other episodes, but just...
It's new to us.
It's part of the reason why we're doing this.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Yes!
Exactly.
But we still wanted to bring you something today, even though we didn't have Shorzy Season 4. I forgot the number again, even though I said it right. Anyways, so we went and decided to bring you All-Star Superman, because for us, the Superman movie dropped last week.
Yes.
I've still not seen it. Steven's still not seen it. Tyler has seen it.
Last night.
Last night. I'm going to go to the theater for it. Like, this will be the first time we went to the theater since the 3 of us went and saw Blue Beetle, I think.
I think so for
Nice.
you.
Yeah.
I saw Paddington in Peru in theaters.
I saw Sinners.
I also saw Sinners in theaters.
I definitely, while we were gone,
Oh, God, you need to watch Sinners if you haven't watched Sinners
not
yet.
watched Sinners yet, but I plan to watch Sinners.
Can
I
you
will watch Sinners.
Blues from Dusk Till Dawn.
Yes, I know. That's why I'm going to watch
With
Sinners.
Michael B. Jordan.
And Ryan Coogler, yes.
And it's sexy as fuck.
That's true. It's a horny movie.
Yeah, look, I looked up enough to like read about this movie because I kept hearing how interesting it was, and Blues from Dusk Till Dawn, and I was like, "Yep, okay."
Sold me.
Okay, so a thought that I had after we had agreed to do Superman and All-Star Superman, I'm pretty sure we've done All-Star Superman before.
Fuck off. Did we?
We did Superman in our in like the first like 6 months of the podcast. We did a Superman episode.
Steven, you remember our episodes better than we do. Did we do Superman?
We definitely did a Superman because I remember it was one of the first times we had technical difficulties and we lost the last like 20 minutes of the episode. And I felt really bad because right where we lost it, I was talking shit on Doug Monkey as an artist because I don't love his art style very much.
Oh, fuck.
But then,
I think you might be right.
Right after, I was like, fucking Doug Monkey, whatever, like, talk shit. Afterwards, I was like, but, he's really popular. I respect him. He's good at his craft, even if he doesn't work for me. But that part got lost. So the episode basically just ended with me being like, that guy sucks.
You did do an episode on Superman, episode 9, The Last Nerds of Krypton, in February of 2020.
Oh my God.
I'd have to listen to the episode again. I honestly, it's been so long that I don't know.
I feel like that episode was more of a precursor into what we were ending up doing with Noob Island.
Yeah, I think so. We were still at the time a lot more like, we're going to teach you about stuff as opposed to we're just going to
talk about shit.
Yeah. And also, it's been so long and Steven wasn't there, so that's fine.
Debatable, but...
So, I guess to play with this, I kind of know Tyler's, but like, what is y'all's relationship with Superman?
Like, he's never been my favorite, but I did grow up with the Fleischer cartoons on VHS.
Of course you did. That's so on brand for Tyler.
So I watched the shit out of the Fleischer cartoons.
They are incredible. They're holy shit gorgeous.
Well, yes. Having gone back and learned about them in animation school, they're fucking incredible. My biggest touchstone, unfortunately, is probably The Adventures of Lois and Clark.
Oh,
I did watch The Adventures of Lois and Clark.
I watched a shit ton of that in syndication.
I didn't watch it till college, but I did watch most of that series in not a sitting, but like
I was a very
closer.
early bird kid in the youngest of 4, so I was like the only time I could watch anything of my own choosing was like before anybody was awake, and so it was very limited selection.
I will say on that because we're all like, "Ooh, unfortunate," because Dean Cain.
Yeah,
One, before Dean Cain completely lost his mind, he did play a pretty good Superman.
it's honestly not a bad Superman. It's not bad.
They basically called out "Make America Great Again" in a scene in that show, where they're
Right.
like, "Back when America was great, what's that mean?" And she's like, "What? You mean when we still had slavery?"
I love it. I've been tempted.
also,
I've been very tempted to try and
Who
do
is
a
that
rewatch.
that's playing Lois Lane? Terry
Hatcher.
She's incredible in that show.
Oh yeah, she's fucking real attractive lady.
When and honestly, okay,
But, like,
she
beyond
does
a-
play pretty damsel in distress, but she's given a lot to do for a mid-90s like romantic interest character. And
And they had very good chemistry as like Lois and Clark and Lois and Superman.
And there was definitely, I remember reading some interview with her where she's like, we did a photo shoot of me wearing nothing but Superman's cape, and it's the most sexiest I've ever looked. I love that photo shoot. And I looked it up, and she is not wrong.
Right? Like
She
she's
looks
very
good.
She looks good. Fuck that show. I watched a lot of it on TNT.
That's some hokey shit, though. That is
Beyond that, I probably watched a lot of the cartoon
animated series. is
animated
great.
cartoon. Yeah.
I didn't really, I never really watched much of the cartoon. I did watch the movies. Like, I enjoyed the old Christopher Reeve movie.
The cartoon, the animated series, I definitely watched because it was either it was a situation of a precursor or it was before or after something else I wanted to watch, and it was on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, it was
cartoon
probably
block.
Batman the Animated Series. 'Cause
More
they did the like Superman Batman Adventure Hour
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, like more than likely that's it. Like I wanted to watch Batman, but I was there early enough to make sure I didn't miss Batman, so I also watched Superman.
And it's also a sign of the times that the suits themselves weren't nerds yet, because it really should have just been the world's finest hour.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I'm pretty sure, I would bet you money that Bruce Timm and Paul Dini were like, please let us just call it the world's finest hour. If you've not watched Superman, the animated series on any level, do yourself a favor. And even if you just watch the first few episodes, it is, I mean, like, I love My Adventures with Superman, the magical girl Superman anime that they've got. I'm not even making fun of it. I'm pretty sure that's how the lead voice actor. Well, the lead voice actor, Boimler.
Oh, Jack Quaid.
I'm pretty sure that's how Jack Quaid described it.
Nice.
When he welcomed David Cornsweet as like, you were great as Superman, he signed it as the anime Superman.
Yeah.
Fair.
God, I gotta watch that. That sounds, man. I gotta. I'm
Superman
really
has a magical girl transformation scene.
That's fucking incredible. I need to watch that.
I never finished the second season. I really I kept meaning to, and I just fell back. But
happens. I got a lot I got to catch up on. Jesus.
Especially, I'm pretty sure that's when we started Farscape. And I stopped watching anything but Farscape for like 2 months.
Yo, like, enjoyed Farscape, but that was a lot of Farscape, my dudes.
Heard. Seconded.
So, yeah, I am, and I was expecting this easily of us, the biggest Superman fan. I love Superman. Ironically, I don't love the Superman that Grant Morrison loves, I think.
Oh,
and we
okay.
will talk about that. Oh, also, a quick note on this one. Grant Morrison goes by they, them pronouns, but accepts he, him pronouns.
Yes.
Prefers they, them, is fine with he, him. We're bringing this up because they had just announced that they were going by they, them now, right when we did the JLA Grant Morrison run episodes. And I got it wrong every single time across like 3 episodes. And I felt super bad about it.
Okay, so they prefer they them pronouns. Got it.
Yes. And I don't know why I had such a hard time with it, but I have felt like a jerk ever since.
It's hard. I for some reason was really challenged with that when the Wachowski sisters transitioned and became, for the short time, were the Wachowski siblings because one hadn't started transitioning.
Well, because they were the Wachowski bros for so, like, literally bros was the word used.
Right. And like I had a challenge with that of accidentally misgendering them and having to recontextualize myself.
So we are doing specifically, I mean, not just Superman, although I could easily, again.
Ooh, I do have to admit something about my relationship with Superman, just for anyone listening, is that what finally got me to appreciate the character was Red Sun.
Yeah, I am not surprised.
I love Red Sun. That for some reason did remind me we can't just breeze past Smallsville on my
Oh yeah, I can't believe I didn't mention Smallville.
because I crushed through Smallville while it was airing, and then I've rewatched it twice through since it's completed, which is
You and I watched an episode of Smallville recently.
recently
like,
because we were just talking about it, and then we were chilling at my house.
we were
and
just eating burgers or something. You're like, let's watch the pilot. It's not a good episode.
it's not a good episode.
We did. Dickie came with us, and we watched like the first 3 episodes of Smallville for an episode once, and it was. I had a great time for that episode. It was bad TV, and we've talked off and on about doing an episode where we just pick the like 3 or 4 highest rated episodes of Smallville ever released.
They're so disconnected.
And watching those and just seeing,
Yeah,
like,
it's so hard. I think we would have to really parse the whole, because there's 10 seasons.
yeah.
The problem being is that like top 5 best ones are so mythos heavy that like we couldn't just do that. I think we would have to find like maybe the 3 worst rated episodes would be
not
easier.
doing that. Look, it's one of those like,
Or maybe the top 5 of the bottom 10, if that makes
the
sense.
thing that I know I want to do another Smallville episode someday, but we definitely can't just do a watch through because I refuse to do that to my wife. Like,
Yeah, it's a good call.
I am definitely down to watch. I'm okay with watching the worst ones, honestly. I think it'll be funny. You say you don't want to do that to me, but Smallville was never my thing anyway. I don't care if I make fun of it.
Oh, it's gonna be the fuck. I don't want to do it to me.
Oh, fair. Fair.
Or we could just like limit it to the
It's
first
gonna be the one where
season.
Amy Adams eats kryptonite vegetables and then becomes a fat sucking monster.
Oh, a hard veto on that one.
That's a bad episode.
That's a bad one.
It's probably the worst episode they ever put out.
Oh, it's 100% my least favorite episode they put out. I don't know if it's the worst episode they put out, but it's my least favorite episode they put out.
I have watched Michael Rosenbaum and Tom Welling they've been doing a podcast called Talkville where they just did a like episode by episode review of the show.
that.
And those two are really close.
That makes me so happy.
And they've been trying to set up an animated continuation of Smallville for years. But like watching those two talk about is really interesting because they have stuff that they're really fond of, and then also places where they're like, this was some corporate bullshit. Like,
oh fuck, I might be doing a watch through and a listen through of that podcast.
Anyways, we are doing All-Star Superman probably because it is the most famous and probably the most accessible single Superman story ever written.
Yeah, somehow like I think I suggested this first.
Yeah,
which
pretty sure. Because
do you consider this more accessible or a Superman for All Seasons?
Oh, yeah.
I've never read it, so I'm going to say this one's more accessible.
This one's better known and better received, so probably this one. And this one encapsulates more of I don't know. I would have to reread For All Seasons, but I might like For All Seasons better in a couple of ways.
Let's do it.
Partly because I guess we can dive into this here. Like, okay, so this was...
I just think I had to bring it up because as soon as you said more accessible, I was like, I don't know, that's Grant Morrison.
For Grant Morrison, this is an incredibly accessible Superman story.
Yeah.
But we do have the Return of the Infant Galaxy.
He does it in a way that, like, okay. Okay, so first off, Grant Morrison probably... I'm going to go with the most brilliant DC comic creator of all time. I'm not saying the best, although they are high up there. But, like, Grant Morrison is one of those creators that either works for you or does not work for you. And in both cases, I tend to agree.
And also, they're a creator that I got into the New 52 run, so I read a lot of random stuff that they were doing then. Some of their stuff works for me with certain characters, and some of their stuff with other characters does not.
Oh, I've tried to reread their X-Men run several times, and I hate it. I cannot stand their new X-Men run, even though I recognize how important it is.
I feel like that's one of the ones where it's like, I don't like this run.
Most people did not like new X. It actually sold really well and stuff, but like it was such a departure from X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
I liked them beforehand, but I've often lately been going to sleep about our episodes about their JLA run, just because it reminds me how good their JLA run was.
Their JLA run is maybe the greatest team comic book of all time. Like,
and like I need to read
it's my
Seven
favorite.
Soldiers.
Oh, we are definitely doing a Seven Soldiers episode. It's just a nightmare to figure out how to organize. So they wanted to do a crossover event.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this team called the Seven Soldiers of Victory.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of doing a Seven Soldiers miniseries or a story where these 7 different heroes, because the 7 Soldiers often kind of changes up who they are, meet up, they did 7 separate miniseries with background interconnected stories, and if you read all 7 of them, you get a deeper story about an alien invasion from an alternate dimension that you won't understand unless you read all 7 stories.
And see,
it's a team that never truly interacts.
They never actually meet up. There's no like Avengers moment.
By the end of each miniseries, there's usually something that affected one of the others to make the overall plan work.
I love that. That's fucking cool.
It's great. It's a goddamn nightmare to follow. Like, and it's, okay, so someday we will talk about All-Star Superman in our All-Star Superman episode.
We got time. We'll get there.
I got the omnibus of it.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking gorgeous. But instead of how they usually gather it of like Frankenstein, Agent of Shade, Zatanna, Bulleteer, whatever, like the different Clarion, the Witch Boy, the Metropolis Guardian, each one their own single. It goes issue 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, issue 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So you're reading it. It's chronological order, but it's like you're not getting. You have to remember, be like, Oh
think
shit! What was super
Evil.
What was
That sounds fucking evil to me.
so. When I read it, I looked up a reading order online, and I did that.
probably smarter?
Fucking, that sounds wild to me.
And that's the book that actually came out right after this. This is how I'm circling us back. Circling back. They had just finished writing new X-Men. They had just finished up at Marvel. They had not... Grant Morrison and Marvel doesn't work very well. They've written a couple of books for Marvel. They were all interesting, decent books. And I can't even tell you what it is. Something about their writing style does not mix with the Marvel universe very well. Maybe because they're so much more kind of mythological.
I was gonna say, and I feel like Morrison is good at pushing things to weird extremes, and Marvel operates more in the middle than DC does.
Yeah, that's true. DC's best at no powers or lots of powers, and Marvel kind of exists in between the two.
That's a good point, yeah.
This is actually a full of before they had gone to before they had gone to Marvel. Grant Morrison, Mark Waid, and I want to say Jeff Johns had proposed a reboot continuation of Superman, like a relaunch of Superman.
Mark Miller.
Was it Mark Miller?
Yep.
Oh, right, because they still liked each other at the
They
time.
still liked each other at the time.
And
Part of the fallout is rumored to be how Miller used some of the stuff from that original.
Well, and
Because they all used portions from that
and
original.
Morrison ghost wrote some stories for Authority for Miller and never got credit or payment or something, and now he wants to run Mark Miller over with a bus. But, Mark Miller wrote like Kick-Ass. Civil
Oh, I know
War.
who Mark
Okay,
Miller
just
is,
making
and I know
sure.
he's not a good person.
I don't know if he's an asshole. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, he's an asshole. I don't know if he's like a bad person, but he's an asshole.
Anyways, they had come up with, I think it was literally called Superman Beyond, a proposal, a rewrite, and it's, Mark Waid is the Superman fan of the world.
Mm-hmm.
When he says he is the number one Superman fan in the world, I believe him.
Mm-hmm.
And he eventually did try to do a relaunch of Superman's origin story called Superman Birthright, which has a terrible front cover for the first issue, which is what they put on all of the graphic novel collections, but is my favorite telling of the Superman origin story. It modernizes it in a way that is really smart.
Interesting.
And Morrison brought some of their ideas into this. All-Star was supposed to be an entire line of comic books. It was All-Star Superman, Batman and Robin, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and Batgirl. Green Lantern and Batgirl never happened. Wonder Woman never got finished because J.G. Jones took like 6 years to make one issue and then gave up. And All-Star Batman and Robin was Frank Miller writing and Jim Lee on art. It was like the Batman creative dream team, and it is the most unhinged bullshit I have ever read in my life.
I'm the goddamn Batman.
I picked it up at the public library, and
Don't.
I put it right back. I thumbed through it and was like, this looks fucking wild and not in a good way.
I was so excited. Like, it was... I don't really care about Frank Miller, but written year one in Dark Knight Returns is the, in a lot of ways, the Batman writer. And Jim Lee had just gotten off Hush not long before, and Hush is still one of my favorite Batman stories of all time.
And what a great looking Batman.
And a great looking Batman. And then just... That's right, I have the poster.
Right up
I gave
above
you that
Right,
poster.
yeah.
And it's got Robin slitting Green Lantern's throat and Batman and Black Canary fucking on top of the Batmobile, and Joker's got a giant dragon tattoo on his back for reasons unknown. Wonder Woman wants to chop Batman's head off and put it on a pike in front of the White House to prove that the Justice League will police their own. It was...
What did Batman do that they knew? I forget.
It was the Justice League were worried about vigilantes. that they were going to stop. I don't know. It ended up being a precursor to Dark Knight Returns and proving that. You have to remember, this is the same era that Frank Miller tried to write Holy Terror Batman, which was Batman beats up Al-Qaeda, and it was so racist that DC wouldn't let him do it.
And then he just made it himself, but not
Made
Batman.
Holy Terror, and it's
Yep.
in maybe the worst comic book ever made, in my opinion.
Yeah, probably.
And then on the other hand, we have All-Star Superman, which is Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely doing an absolute fucking love letter to all things Superman.
And very much the Silver Age.
Very much the Silver Age, which is why I said earlier, this is not my Superman. And the biggest thing on it, and this really hit me when I was reading this time, because I've read this book so many times. I gift people copies of this book because it's these. In my opinion, if you really want to introduce someone to Superman, this is probably the book to lend them. I so disagree with how he portrays Clark Kent. And I think it's because my first Superman was Superman the Animated Series, and reading in the 90s and what's known as the Triangle era, where it was 3 Superman books. Man of Steel, Action Comics, and Superman. And they were all like closely interconnected and telling Adventures of Lois and Clark had that same where Clark Kent is a capable character in his own right. Clark Kent is not just Christopher Reeve getting like stuck in a door trying to like follow Lois. And that's who he portrays Clark as here. The Metropolis Clark Kent, who is kind of useless. And I never liked that as much. I've always liked Lois Lane falls in love with Clark Kent. Even if she has her interest in Superman, even if she has her relationship with Superman. But like Clark Kent is who she falls in love with. And then, you know, however you want to deal with her finding out that it's the same fucking guy.
I think that's my only gripe on this reread through is that
Lois is kind of a bitch in this one.
Well, even by the end, she never truly believes that Clark and Superman are the same person and still thinks that Clark is hiding somewhere. They kind of play it as a joke, but also it's like everyone else around her is also like, where's Clark, even when he's revealed?
Maybe, but there is that point where she's like, he can't be dead. Clark is... And then like stops. But yeah, it's just... I've always been of the opinion, and for the most part, this does a pretty good job with it, of one of the most interesting things about Clark Kent, about Superman, is Clark Kent and his relationship with people. Just the people around him.
This is honestly why I was asking you earlier if you had that Superman Red, White, and Blue. It's been fucking littering my Tumblr feed, so I've been reading just little bits of it, and there's one particular one where Clark Kent just de-escalates someone trying to rob a store.
Sure. And
literally by the end of it, I'm just in tears looking at my phone, reading a little bit about Superman on Tumblr. And I think that made me solidify my opinion on what I like about, like, when I like Superman and Clark. There's no difference to me. I want them to be the same guy.
I'm kind of with you on that one. And Morrison has talked about it. Morrison, there's kind of different views of the Clark Kent Superman dichotomy. Mm-hmm. There's the theory that Clark is the real one and Superman is just the mask, face, whatever he puts on to go do his stuff.
Which I used to like that, and I think I like more the other one, the one I just said.
Well, and then there's also Superman's the real one, and Clark is who he puts himself down to be people. Side note, there's also the Kill Bill one where it is Clark Kent is his condemnation of humankind, and I fucking hate that theory. And I don't think it was ever supposed to be real, but if it is, fuck you, Quentin.
I hate that. That's my least favorite of all of them.
It's a good scene in Kill Bill, but like it's yeah. And then Grant Morrison goes with the theory of there's 3 Clarks. There is the Superman face, there's the Metropolis Clark face, and then there's Smallville Clark, who is probably
I was actually about to bring that up. That's the one that I actually kind of
That one is closer to me. The thing is, I need Clark to be capable at his job, to be who, like, you know, he's one of the star reporters, and I never quite understood how he pulls that off, even in this one.
I will say, until this read through, I don't know how I missed it, but I never caught the running thing of him continually saving things through his clumsiness.
That's
until this read
really?
through. Yeah. I think the only one I caught was the super obvious Luther one.
Yeah. No, he's all the time is like, whoops, Trip saved somebody.
Yeah, I really like that. That's the only saving grace for this version of Clark for me, of like, oh, well, he's a literally like walking accident, but the accident is still him being Superman because he just can't fucking help it.
And I'm not saying Clark can't be a klutz or a goofball or whatever. I just like, okay, Superman and Lois Tyler Hoechlin. Superman.
Yeah, okay.
His Clark Kent, especially when he first appears in Supergirl and like he goes to go see Cat Grant and she gets all like googly eyed over him and he's actually like capable. That is where I like Clark Kent to be. That said, for most, up until like, from like the 80s onward, that Clark kind of exists. Up until then, Clark was mostly just the like mask kind of thing. So I don't think Morrison is wrong for their depiction here. It's just not, it's the thing that I noticed in this read through. It's not what I go for as strongly.
Understood. Same. Yeah. Like this iteration of it is not my favorite. I think my favorite iterations, there's less of a line between Clark and Superman.
Mm-hmm.
He is both of them.
So, just out of curiosity, as we're talking different iterations, do you prefer Lex Luthor as criminal mad scientist or businessman that is also probably a criminal mad scientist, but like they can't prove it?
That one.
Probably that one as well.
I was gonna say, do you want LexCorp or
yeah?
LuthorCorp
I like
to be a
LexCorp.
thing?
I think I like LexCorp, LuthorCorp. This iteration is really sad to me. Of like, dude, can you just like? I get it. You're mad about Superman having powers, but can you just like fucking just like go jerk off about it instead, or anything else, my dude? Like, sure, you don't have his powers and he's an alien. Sure. I don't get why this is such a big deal for you. Stop it.
If you ever want to understand why it's a big deal for him, read Luther by Brian Azzarello. It is a story from the point of view of Lex Luthor.
Oh, interesting.
And he's not right. They never depict him as in the right. He's a fucking dickhead in that one. But you can kind of... in a horrifying way, you can kind of see his point. And even just the way that the art is done, the only time you ever see Superman is from Lex Luthor's point of view, where he's floating up outside of his window, literally up above him. So he's always looking down on you. And his eyes are fucking glowing because he's doing his like, I'm going to stop you someday, Luthor.
Mm-hmm.
But because of that changes the shadows on his face. So like it is way more intimidating looking.
Interesting. Still just like fuck off, dude. Just
No,
like
Luthor is wrong. Turns out the billionaire sociopath is maybe not in the right here, but
And projecting.
yeah.
just a little bit.
I do love how many times Clark saves his life in the prison interview episode. And Luthor just being completely unaware the entire time while talking up his own superiority.
Well, I guess what I'm what I was thinking of too is that, like, as we get towards the end, when Lex has the powers,
Mm-hmm.
the entire time we had been running into Lex throughout the storyline before, he kept fucking brains over brawn. Like, that's what's going to win. Like, I fucking outsmarted him. I killed Superman. It's just a matter of time. Da 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 da. As soon as he has the powers, he literally like throws
Forgets
away
all
of his science equipment, and he just tries to brawn it out.
And then he gets defeated by brains.
And the entire time, he had been projecting onto Superman what he would do if he were Superman.
and then immediately does what Superman does. Well, not even, because Superman still uses brain and brawn.
Yeah, no, he immediately does what Superman wouldn't do, which is the interesting thing about it. And
I think that's almost one of the more brilliant things about this story is that across all the enemies and antagonists, not all of them, but a lot of the antagonists we run across, they kind of push back at all of the different ways to make a jerk-ass Superman.
yeah. Well, it's brought up here. Did you read... I'm assuming you just read these on a tablet or whatever, or I
Yeah.
don't know if you... Okay, yeah. So neither
Read
one
these on this phone right here.
Okay. So neither one of you read the intros that came in on this. Mark Waid writes an intro for it, and he talks about how in this there is a huge running debate in Superman mythos of, can you have other Kryptonians? Do you lessen Superman by having someone other than the last son of Krypton there? Be it Supergirl, Zod, other, the Bottle City
Kandorians.
Kandor, the Phantom Zone prisoners, yada, yada, yada. Like, or do you need Superman as that, like, paragon of strength, power, etc., etc.? And Morrison puts that on his head by giving basically everyone at some point powers, or like putting in so many Superman alternates. We have Lois Lane as Superwoman for a day. We have Samson and Atlas in this. Atlas,
Which they are just dumb jock brawn over brains Superman in those.
One of them also is a real DC character before this.
Yeah.
He had one appearance. We have the invasion of the fucking Bizarro world. We have...
Fuck, I forgot about that arc in this. This is such a...
Oh, it hurts my brain so much reading that much Bizarro speech.
You understand why Zabaro is the, like, kind of shithead that he is. You have the two Kryptonian, like,
Which, like, that's the
astronauts.
self-absorbed Superman. Like, if he had just gone, oh, woe is me because I am the last son of Krypton.
Yeah. The pure Kryptonians that are the ones trying to make the new Krypton.
Which is basically the Viltrumites?
The Viltrumites, or the...
Why is my brain not...
Invincible.
Okay, thank you.
Or Homelander.
Oh,
or
yeah, it is. Shit, yeah.
some versions of Superman, even. You have Lex Luthor getting the powers. You keep having people getting Superman-level powers. And Morrison's... This has been an ongoing message for Morrison throughout their run of Superman stories.
Mm-hmm.
But what makes Clark or Superman important in all of this is who Clark is who Superman is the basic kindness. I've still not seen the movie, but I've picked up enough just by osmosis and existing on the internet that kindness is the real punk rock.
Yeah.
Kind of
That's
thing.
it.
Like Superman is, and it's why I love Superman so much as someone who doesn't have a whole lot of time for cynicism. Clark changes people through just being a good guy. And I think probably my favorite moment of this entire series, and this series has a lot of moments I really love, is where Lex is getting overwhelmed by the powers and he's starting to see the world how Superman does. And it starts with just like, oh, I'm trying to explain this. Oh my God. And he's like, I can see and hear colors and the music of the universe. And oh my God, it's just us. And his evil niece?
Yeah.
Did you say Justice? Like, there's that moment
Nasty.
Nasthlesia?
Something fucked up like that.
There is one moment in this comic where Lex Luthor understands Superman. And then he loses his powers and starts to kind of revert back. But, like, I can't even really ever been able to put into words how strong I have found that moment as like, oh no, you get it in the way that I've been trying to explain to people for years.
I think my favorite, just because you mentioned favorite moment, I think
Sure.
my favorite moment is just the entire fucking prison issue.
The prison issue is so well plotted.
Yeah, and really beautifully laid out. There's some really, really good layouts.
And funny.
Frank Quitely is...
Also, the parasite showing up? Fuck.
I do love Clark being like, oh, fuck. Like, oh. Frank Quitely is one of those artists that's kind of ugly beautiful.
Mm-hmm,
There's something about his art style that is a little unnerving. It's why he was so good when he was doing like the Flex Mentolo series and some of the like Doom Patrol shit. But he can do, his layouts are perfect, and some of the stuff he can do with it is so gorgeous. I think the one I had there is my favorite, but also I gotta say, the first 3 pages, which are maybe the greatest origin retelling of the Superman origin story of all time, and it's just Doomed Planet last. I'll grab it. Like the only thing I remember from the last time we did an episode on this is me talking about this.
Doomed Planet, Desperate Scientists, Last Hope, Kindly Couple.
And then, yeah, and it's the like first panel, Krypton fucked. Second panel, literally Jor-El and Laura dying. Third panel, the ship escaping as Superman like has his rocket escapes. Fourth panel is Martha and Jonathan finding him. And then you swap, and it's a 2-page spread of Superman just flying by the sun. And it's the idea of, like, what's his name? The not evil scientist in this one. The Coat of Many Colors guy.
Quantum
Quintus.
Leo Quinton?
Leo Quintum, thank you.
Fucking dope look. Fresh look. That guy's looking fucking cool.
Also, the biggest, wildest fucking swing in this series when you're doing so many Silver Age callbacks to introduce a brand new character.
Yeah. Quintum does not exist anywhere but All-Star Superman.
Weird. I love it.
But throughout this entire series, he's talking about, like, he's trying to crack the code of Superman. He's trying to understand the equation. Morrison gives you the entire equation in those first 3 pages. But also doesn't, because it's, you know, you could do all of those things and still not get Superman. Because it's really just being a decent guy that really makes Superman over all things.
That does. I think my favorite of the whole one is the ones with the Superman for the future and Pa Kent.
Yeah. Oh man,
that's a good one.
I think that's the one. It's one of the ones that stood the hardest with me as I was reading through this again.
The
Clark trying to
imp Superman.
The fact that he at one point someone in the family married someone from the 5th dimension, like, is messed up. But I mean, really, like the scene from that hits me. I do want to talk about, but I'm sorry, I'm bouncing for a second here. The thing that hits me most is where Clark is flying to Pa after Jonathan has had his heart attack. Mm-hmm. And he's flying so fast that he's like catching on fire. And you're like, oh, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, God. Okay, I do want to talk about that actually, because that is one of the most interesting issues, and the whole thing is perfect.
I mean,
but
the issue itself with the overarching implications of future Superman is fucking wildly fascinating. But that scene specifically is the scene that made that entire thing work for me, and that, like, wow, I felt that to my core reading that again. Not the first time I read it, having felt loss of death of loved ones. Wow.
I've never lost anyone like that. I've been really lucky. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to pick up this book when that time comes. I also love that Pa is just so clearly aware of, like, he doesn't necessarily know who the Supermen from the future are, but he knows at the same time.
Oh, yeah,
he's like,
yeah. You fuckers, I gotta hire you for sure. I don't need to know the details, but I know you're going to be farmhands.
I know my fucking kids' descendants.
Like, I can tell your kin, your family. Get in here. Bring it in. Give me a hug.
I know who he is.
This shit happens.
So Have you ever heard of DC 1 million? Do you know who
I was about to say
Golden Superman is?
No, not really.
Okay.
I was going to bring that up.
'Cause
Yeah.
you had never read DC 1 million before we did Justice League.
Right.
Golden Superman at the end is Clark. Is Clark after living for 1,000,000 years in the sun.
From like this one?
Yes.
Yeah. The one at the very end of the story.
I love that. I didn't know that. That's great.
So, DC 1 million was a huge crossover that Grant Morrison was the main writer for,
Okay.
where people from the heroes from the year 1 million, it was not actually 1 million,
It
but
wasn't
that's what they
actually 1
called it.
million.
It was the 853rd century. We're the 20th century. Well, now we're 21st, but still, they were the 20th century. This is the 853rd century. Come back and meet the Justice League, and there's a whole bunch of weird shit that happens. Solaris, the anti-sun. No.
Tyrant Sun.
Tyrant Sun. Mageddon, the anti-sun, shows up later because Grant Morrison's got themes that they like. And the main villain from this is also from DC 1 million. It's ideas that they come up with.
Okay, now I need to read DC 1 million.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
But
yes.
that's why, like, in the final fight, they're like, I know one day you will, like, become a hero, yada, yada. That's from DC 1 million.
That's fucking
This
cool.
is Grant Morrison taking ideas that they had put out there and experimenting. And in that, it's revealed that Clark Kent has spent the last 1,000,000 years living in the sun for reasons that I don't think they ever fully explained.
It felt like they were alluding to at the end of this that he has to somehow
Yes, but in
fix
the
sun.
original DC 1 million, they never quite
Yeah.
explained
It was just like, oh, he was living in the sun.
And I think
And
it was
everyone's
like,
like, well,
after-
Superman.
And I think it was like after Lois died or something like that. And they do come up with a way that Lois is brought back to life at the end. So he can, but when he comes out, he's gold because he's been living in the sun for so long. He's absorbed so much solar radiation.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. Comic books.
Yep. Because comic books is my favorite thing. So when we see, but that does mean there are 3 Clarks in one image here. Or in one place here, because we have in the issue, we have young Jonathan Kent.
Mm-hmm.
Superboy, Superman, whatever, wherever he's at. We have the mysterious Superman who is revealed to be the dying All-Star era Superman who is getting a chance to say goodbye to his father. And then without ever realizing, because he shows up at the end and says, which of my descendants are you? And that Superman just goes, ha. This was the day you joined forces with 3 generations of Supermen to chain the Chronivore. He does join forces with 3 generations of Supermen. He joins forces with 3 generations of himself in this story.
Fucking A, comic books.
And then he gives an older version of himself a indestructible flower from New Krypton in remembrance of all that we were and for him from all of us, in remembrance of all that we are and all that we will be.
Yeah, no,
So
I
this
love
is-
this one more now.
It's so good.
The other fun thing about this issue is the fucking Chronivore. It is so hilarious that it doesn't just make you old. It eats the time in your personal timeline and slides you further along. So the cows were being turned into the hamburgers that they were going to be turned into.
Fuck, that was
Grant
cool.
Morrison fucking taking too much speed in the 80s ideas.
So good.
Yeah, no,
That's some Doom Patrol shit.
That's some
which
Doom
is-
Patrol shit. Look, this is just another example, though, I think, of Morrison maybe being one of the masters of being able to come up with credible threats for this level of hero.
Mm-hmm. And you can't just go bigger punch. Something that can punch harder. Although Morrison does write in one of those stories of in JLA Classified. We read it. It was their precursor to Seven Soldiers. And in the 90s, Morrison had created a team called the Ultramarine Corps that was kind of a like spin-off of his Justice League story. And
Ultramarine Corps is so cool.
they were really cool, but it was also heroes that will kill if needed kind of thing. Like they'll do what they have to do.
gross.
I know, but still.
I'm fine with it. I understand it's probably thematically
Grant
good,
Morrison then went on to completely rebut that entire concept in a story they wrote later. That Superman being like, there's a thing that goes terribly wrong. The Justice League has to roll in and save the Ultraman Court. And they're like, Superman's like, this was always going to happen, you dickheads. Like, this was... Killing is so easy, and, like, we fight people more powerful than me all of the goddamn time. Happens all the time, and some of the stuff we have to come up with to not just kill them, which never works anyways. Sometimes that's worse than death, man. Like...
Phantom Zone sounds pretty bad.
Dude, that whole Phantom Zone... They actually recently told a story where Clark's like, the Phantom Zone's fucked up. My dad just put those people in, like, endless torture prison. And ends up going back in time to Krypton to find out what Jor-El was up to. And you find out that, like, Jor-El actually wasn't the person who necessarily, like...
Right.
It was not Jor-El's plan to turn the Phantom Zone into a prison for the worst criminals. He's like, look what I found. And they're like, what if we use this to incarcerate people? And he's like, no! Prisons are bad! And I actually have complicated concepts about the entire prison system, but...
Well, I'll go with prisons are bad.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that point. I just also listen to enough true crime that I'm like, some people need to maybe not
be allowed out in public, but I don't think they should be in prison.
So...
Mental health institutions, stuff like that.
Bizarro World, especially now in the modern era, would be sinking back into the dark universe?
The dark multiverse, I definitely thought about that. I think they call it the Underverse.
The Underverse.
Yeah, it is an alternate dimension, but like below us, which doesn't make any sense when you say it out loud, but when you read about it, it does.
Makes a lot of sense.
The idea, if you were like, on a flat surface, the multiverse is all around us. So there's this world, there's the Marvel U, there's the whatever, going through the different ones. But that there is another layer underneath that is it is a separate multiverse, but it's usually the fucked up reflection of this one. It's like...
two sides of the same coin kind of situation.
Yeah, if you view a story through, like, the reflection and it doesn't look right, that's what this is.
And it's... some of them are kind of like what ifs, what could have been, like one changed thing, but a lot of them just don't survive either because they're based on these really unstable ideas and they kind of just blip out.
Which was kind of them making fun of a whole lot of like really bad, what if we did edgy versions of stories.
That's good. I like that. That's fun.
And I think it was Snyder that created the dark multiverse using ideas that Morrison had put out there.
At one point, I can't remember which story it was, but Morrison in one of their stories,
It's Final Crisis.
was the Final Crisis that has the map.
Oh no, that is Multiversity.
Yeah.
Dude, Multiversity is so good.
And like the way that they explain it at the beginning of what was it?
Dark Knights.
Dark Knights was they brought out that map and were like, cool, so what we're dealing with is, and then flip the map over.
Morrison had created a map of the multiverse at one point.
Interesting.
I was going to say...
It's mostly just a little fun detail until later when it's like, whoop.
Well, yeah. Swapping back to something I was going to say way before we started talking about the way more important stuff, I read the most fucking hog wild Leo Quintum theory in this because I was looking up if Quintum had appeared anymore because, like, I was finding out, Atlas and Samson had appeared before, if very briefly. Partly because I actually think those costumes are, like, pretty well designed.
Yeah, I like Samson a lot. I thought
Also, in the animated version, one of them is voiced by John DiMaggio.
Nice. I haven't watched the animated All-Star yet.
It is a good adaptation that misses some of the pure beauty of this series.
That's understandable with adaptations like this.
It was never going to pull it off.
Who's the soups in it?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I do know I watched it while coming down from mushrooms, and I had a really good time, and my friends who were with me did not. And I'm like, but it's so beautiful. They're like, we wanted to watch Wall-E, Zach.
James Denton.
Don't
Not familiar by name. I might recognize him. If
He
I saw
was
a photo.
on Desperate Housewives.
Oh, that okay, yeah.
He does a good job.
That actually.
Oh, he's in Jag for a couple episodes. I would have seen that.
Yeah.
Oh, if he was in Desperate Housewives, he was with Terry Hatcher.
Was he on NCIS then? If he was on Jag?
No,
Okay, because I would have seen him for sure on NCIS.
he was on main cast for Good Witch.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I know who we're talking about. Yep, I know who we're talking about.
Moderately successful B-movie.
I feel like he's done
TV
Superman a
actor.
couple times.
Yeah, probably.
Anyways, Leo Quintum, there is a theory that some people are like very passionate, like, no, this was confirmed, that Leo Quintum is a time-traveling Lex Luthor. That he was so changed by the end of the thing that in his attempt to, like, because he still has a lot of the same habits and ideas of Lex Luthor, it's just
He's kind of like,
directed
what if
the other direction.
What if mad scientist but good?
Yeah. Well, and I'm trying to find the...
I like that. That should be a thing that we should explore more. What if mad scientist but good?
I mean, that's basically Beast from the X-Men, and oftentimes it just ends up with war crimes.
Yeah, but
Which
what,
I think probably happens a lot with Leo Quintum too, actually.
but Zach, what if good?
But what if could? Yeah.
But what if good?
And one of the strongest arguments that they made, or what they said was the strongest argument, was the line, I'm trying to escape from a doomed world too, Superman. It's called the past. And they're like, see, he's trying to run away from his past. And I'm like, no, he's just a fucking futurist, guys. Like, sometimes it doesn't have to be layer upon layer.
Sometimes the curtains are blue.
He is a weird geneticist sort of dude, though. Like,
I mean, it is pretty weird that this dude did just like start his own biz on the moon and just has a lot of humanoid projects that he's grown himself.
that's actually a reference. So
So Project grew out of Cadmus, right? It's referenced.
it's
yeah, they do reference that. I do remember
yeah,
that.
it's when I resurrected the DNA project, which was part of Project Cadmus. Project Cadmus is what created Superboy and became a huge thing about cloning in the 90s. Because as much as this is a love letter to Silver Age, in specific Silver Age Superman, they do draw from many different sources, including fucking Doomsday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Doomsday showed up in this, which is fucking weird.
Just in this version is Jimmy Olsen.
Because there's a project at Cadmus to...
Yeah. But DNA Project or Project Cadmus, the names kind of swap around, are all about cloning. And it wildly, like, they're like, oh, we cloned the Guardian, who was this Golden Age superhero. I'm like, that's cool, that makes sense. Oh, we cloned Superboy. Right, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, we cloned the Newsboy Legion. I'm like, why did you, like, what?
That one, I'm
like-
fine with this, but I still have questions.
6 random children from the 40s?
Well, nobody was missing them.
Dude, and 7 soldiers that are brought back, and they're fucking terrifying at that point because Grant Morrison's like, what if we made them horror shows?
What if we made them terrifying?
What if you thought, real monsters?
Fuck you, Tyler. The Jimmy Olsen, actually, like, what do you think of this version of Jimmy Olsen? It is very much tied into Jimmy used to get transformed into things all of the time. Like, there's the famous, like, turtle monster version of Jimmy, or, like...
I kind of like it. I actually really like this because it's... If you're that close with fucking Superman, weird shit's gonna happen to you.
And if you're that close with Superman and Superman saves you every time, you're going to forget about death eventually. You are going to somehow short circuit your brain and no longer have that self-preservation mode in your brain anymore.
I do love that because like Jimmy Olsen has always been the hard thing to deal with in the Superman stories as we've moved away from like 30s, 40s style storytelling where like the kid sidekick was just a trait.
Mm-hmm.
And Supergirl's answer was, what if we made him black and really hot? Not a bad thing. I actually liked James Olsen in Supergirl, but like,
Yeah.
Let's just do that with Superman. Let's just make him really, really hot and black.
they actually were working on
And then
that
they could
movie and
fuck
it got
too.
canceled. Ta-Nehisi Coates was writing a Superman film with J.J. Abrams set to direct about a black Superman, and it was literally canceled for being too woke.
I really like the idea of a Superman movie where it's the 90% of it is Jimmy Olsen and Clark Kent doing like Aaron Brockovich level like journalism like research type shit to like take down a big corporation, and then just like in the background the other 10% is Superman just like fighting the monster that this corporation somehow made.
Yeah, you're telling the story of the Daily Planet.
Yeah.
And that's something that Lois and Clark did do well.
Yes.
Like that series. And that's kind of why I argue how important these are. But I do sort of love the idea that Jimmy Olsen, because you either have to try to make him cool, like they went for in Supergirl, and mixed results, because they just never quite knew what to do with him, it felt like, in what little I watched of it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have to make, or like there's this urge to make him like the most useless little shit on the planet, which I've never liked, because Jimmy is an important part of the story. And finding that balance between Jimmy's a fucking nerd. He should still to this day be wearing the bow tie. Like I stand by this theory. So what if we just made Jimmy Olsen so weird and gone through so much strange shit that he's just become a Metropolis celebrity?
You know,
is brilliant.
I feel like the Arrowverse could have given us a good Jimmy Olsen.
They did. They gave us hot black Jimmy Olsen, James Olsen.
So that, but like I forgot about that being in the Arrowverse for a second there. But like the other one, the like nerdy Jimmy Olsen, I feel like they could have given us a good version of it. Just thinking about how much I love Cisco and Caitlin in The Flash, and then just like how often I love all of the weird little gremlins that they just add in later on.
It's true.
Of like, you could have done a good Jimmy Olsen. That's a weird little nerd boy.
You guys haven't seen it yet, but I really like our new Jimmy Olsen.
I'm told it's a lot of fun.
He's good.
Nice.
And I would read his fucking article. Just
Mm-hmm.
like Project Cadmus for a day, or whatever the various.
Yeah. Leo Quintum for a day is wild, by the way.
they let him do that, is the part that I'm like,
Oh yeah, I gotta go do this other thing with these weird aliens that only communicate through light. Yeah, sure, you can take over for me. You guys are just gonna let him?
The bank balance has the infinity symbol.
that is the other thing of like, he's not just a weirdo fucking celebrity. Like, this Jimmy Olsen is actually really capable, even if he's an idiot.
Yeah, like he fucking hacked into the airship frequencies preemptively in case he just wanted a ride later, and like
To
fucking
impress a girl. Like, it's so
but like he did that to impress a girl, but also like he saved all of his coworkers from the Bizarro people. Which that was a horrifying scene with the woman losing Bizarroing out. Yeah, that was scary. I did not care for that. Right, what you said about was it Quitely who wrote this?
Yeah, because his name is not actually Frank Quitely. He just took the words "quite frankly" and swapped it around a little bit, so he's Frank Quitely.
That's so fucking good. I hate it. But his art there is for like I get what you mean by like
Ugly beautiful.
ugly beautiful.
Yeah, I love. So I legitimately like the planet. I love Lois Lane. Lois Lane was one of the first people I had a crush on before. Like, I think my first two crushes were Mary Jane Watson and Lois Lane, and then I met like
A human?
I hit puberty and was like, girls.
Oh,
Like romantically, but like
real women.
yes. But I I also enjoy...
I don't know why I'm throwing so much shade. I definitely probably had cartoon crushes for sure.
Everyone's got cartoon crushes. If you fucking listen to Films to Be Buried With, most of them were on Maid Marian from the Robin Hood Fox
Yeah. Maid Marian.
But like, I actually also like Ron Troop doesn't get much to do here. He's just kind of in the background. But Steve Lombard, Cat Grant, Steve Lombard is so funny to me in this one, of just always trying to be the man's man and like, oh, your toupee's on fire, or like, I'm immune to the Bizarro thing. And I'm like, let's see what. Oh,
I don't think I can recommend everyone take those performance pills.
Like the idea he just takes so much Viagra that the Bizarro virus doesn't work on him, and I'm like, I don't know why that works, but fuck, it was a good throwaway joke. That's right there.
Great throwaway joke.
We keep mentioning it, but just in case like anyone at home doesn't realize just how fucking like much of a love letter this is to the Silver Age, like also every one of the issues is basically a gag that they almost overused in the Silver Age.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Jimmy story. There's a brand new type of kryptonite. There's
Lois Lane gets superpowers or whatever.
Somebody goes through a strange cloud in space, and bad shit happens.
Man, while flipping through here,
I really enjoyed the Lois gets superpowers, except for how much she is a bit of an asshole to Clark.
But like, okay, so the bits at the beginning I don't care for on that one, but watching the slow build of paranoia that she has here after she gets exposed to something that makes,
paranoia happen
is
for her.
actually like really well put together, and you don't quite realize how it's developing over time until suddenly you're like, oh, she's maybe gone a little far here. But like the paranoia builds up really naturally, and having the like her meeting the mysterious Superman from the future or whatever, which makes me think there must be more than one mysterious Superman from the future with like the head wraps.
Yeah, I feel like this Superman learned about that one. Is like, I'm just going to use that. This is my shtick too.
Because in the future when he's
Morrison
like,
has been asked about that in interviews, and they said it's definitely a possibility. I didn't necessarily write that with that in mind, but I'm also not, as the creator of this section of the universe, I'm also not going to rule it out as, yeah, that's just one from the future, and he was assuming his identity.
Well, because they do have the like, I need to ask the question, who was J-Lo? Like that would be weird if that was just Superman from like a fucking 6 months ahead being like, that'd be funny.
Although seeing you thumb through this issue, it's wild how much of like the setups for the rest of the book get introduced here. Like Lex being able to steal the formula to turn himself super is set up here. The armory with the fucking gravity cannon that Superman uses is set up here. The Star Eater.
The Sun Eater,
Eater, yes.
Which Sun Eater is another pre-existing concept. It's a big problem in one of the Legion of Superhero stories.
Which fucking beautiful. I love the fortress here. It's a really beautiful iteration of the fortress.
Oh, also the fucking cube dimension. The interesting thing about Grant Morrison... Quirk? The interesting thing about Grant Morrison is Grant Morrison has a really casual relationship with continuity.
Mm-hmm.
So they will write a story in continuity, but if there's something they want from All-Star Superman, they'll just take it. As far as I can tell, the little square universe that Superman creates to later on be like, I need to know what a world without Superman would be like.
Oh, our universe where we get to see Siegel and Schuster
was created here, but they use it later on in that JLA classified story I was talking about. It's a major story point of the Seven Soldiers book.
Wild. And
then, DC 1 Million, which was part of its own continuity, is also here. It was supposed to be their last ever project for DC. They wrote a book called Superman and the Authority. And it was Superman years from now creating a team because Superman is starting to lose his powers. So he's creating a team to kind of replace himself. And it's an aged Superman, like going gray, losing everything. But DC, and this is kind of unrelated, but it just so perfectly fits in with the way that Grant Morrison writes, decided to use that as a launch point for the next big Superman story, but just not using the aged part. So they did Superman and the Authority, older Superman, yada, yada, yada. And then they just took all of that storyline, except for the fact that he's aging out and dying, put it in main continuity, and launched Superman and the Authority together off into Warworld. So he could go be a gladiator for a while, and his son, John Kent, could be on Earth. And the reason why it happened was Dan Didio, the creator, or the CEO, Chief Creative Officer of DC, was trying to do a storyline where they were going to jump forward, basically, in time. They were going to age up all of the current superheroes. So Bruce Wayne was basically going to be Batman Beyond Bruce Wayne, old man, being the voice in the ear for like whoever the next Batman was. John Kent was going to be yada yada yada. And he was telling Grant Morrison his plans for for what happens to Clark, and Clark was going to go kind of fascist. And Grant Morrison was like, absolutely not. I will write this book so we can do it so it's a more proactive Clark Kent like you want, without him becoming a fascist. And then Didio got fired and they undid that like time jump story, but they'd already been prepping a few things for it. So they were just like, we'll just ignore the whole aged thing. But again, Grant Morrison's casual relationship with...
I like this part. We're going to
continuity.
cut that out and just paste it right over here.
Also, if we're going to talk about beautiful moments in this, I mean, there's so many.
Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
Clark talking down the jumper, Superman talking down the jumper this is the Tumblr bait one.
Oh, that one I've seen on Tumblr many times.
One of the best ones, and also like is so well designed and well put, because we see her. It's this kind of goth girl who thinks there's nothing left. She's about to jump off the building, and Clark shows up and says like, he wasn't lying. Your therapist did get held up. It's never as bad as it seems. You're stronger than you think you are, and like hugs her and kind of saves her life. Pages before, we see Superman flying by, and there's a guy going, no, don't hang, like talking on the phone, ignoring Superman, being like, no, I just got held up. Don't hang up. Don't, like, I'm coming, I promise. And I remember reading that and not even
registering
it, just being like, if anything, being like, oh, that's kind of weird. And then moving on, and then but it's the idea of Superman notices everything to the point that is kind of creepy.
I mean,
but
yeah,
like, it's so good. But then this whole issue is Superman has created a world without a Superman to see what it would be like, to see if we will survive without him. And I love the idea, and it's the whole time is jumping back and forth between Superman doing insane things to save as many people as possible, and just that world developing. And the idea of Superman is so necessary that we don't have a Superman of ourselves to save him. So they literally invent a Superman.
Like it's a Superman mythos.
Yeah. Like, okay, we don't have Superman. Okay.
I guess we're
like,
I guess we'll write about him until he exists.
And having, in Earth Q, having it of Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, and it's never said it's them, but having the I really think is it. Third time lucky. This is the one. This is going to change everything. And it's just a picture of someone having just doodled Superman's first appearance one. This might be my favorite page in it. And I don't fully know why, because there's so many beautiful pages and beautiful stories in this. It is incredible how many one-off issues all tie together into a single cohesive story. That's so hard to do.
Okay, so question for you. What do you guys think of the white suit he has at the end? With the, is it a earth on it?
Well, no, it's
Or is it just a big ass?
It's a white suit, and then it's got like yellow. It's like the sun.
It's the sun.
With an S.
Yeah.
With an S.
The helmet doesn't super work for me as
Look
a
at this thing again.
like it works for the point of the story and what it needs to be.
It does for what it needs to be, but also apart from that, that's a bunk ass design.
I was about to say, yeah,
It's
it works
enough-
for the story, but like I would feel the same about that as if I got fucking summer beach Superman as a kid as a fucking present for my birthday or something.
It is another reference to another Superman story.
I
I
imagined.
don't know what. I've always kind of liked it, even if I I agree with you. I mean, there's a reason he swaps back to the classic blue and red. Also, as I am flipping through here, I have fucking been like, oh no, that's my favorite. That's my favorite. It is. Clark is dying, and we find out that Kryptonians basically upload into energy form when they die. And he's hallucinating Jor-El talking to him. And it's where they stole the line that is the single best scene in Man of Steel. Where it's like, you will lead them. They will stumble. They will fall. Where's the line? You have shown them the face of the man of tomorrow. You have given them an ideal to aspire to, embodied their highest aspirations. They will race and stumble and fall and crawl and curse, and finally, they will join you in the sun. Which Snyder definitely took that scene and got Russell Crowe to say it, and or a version of it. It is easily the best moment in Man of Steel.
I mean, it's a good fucking line.
That is one of those. And that's why I think Superman remains. I think Spider-Man is my favorite superhero of all time. But, that's why I think Superman is the most important. So much of Superman is the idea of something to aspire to. But something to aspire to that is inspired by us is fascinating to me.
So since as he dies, as you mentioned, Kryptonians transmogrify. Since he basically turns into an energy being and lives in the center of the sun, does that make him the all-star Superman?
Oh, God damn it, Tyler.
No.
The last son of Krypton?
No, they're spelled differently. Yeah, that's a beautiful layout. The one where he's supposed to be in the sun.
Yeah, Superman flies into the sun. They have the whole. Also, the statue that they show Lois sitting next to afterwards during the 1 year later memory. That is a statue that's built in Metropolis after he's killed fighting Doomsday. So that's another reference to a moment in Superman history that they put in there.
Nice.
And then you swap page, and it's all yellow. Superman doing something.
Yeah,
in a very clockwork building.
Yeah, it feels kind of akin to the imagery of turn of the century or American. My brain's really struggling to get the words out. Rosie the Riveter. Kind of
there is something sort of Americana
about it, but it also kind of reminded me a little bit of the photo of them raising the flags on Iwo Jima.
I could see it. See, I admittly went
but
somewhere
also it
more
just looks like he's pulling
John Henry,
big ass fucking lever.
Yeah, building big ass fucking lever. It's got all sorts of kind of technology things and cogs and wheels, but also it's in the shape of a heart.
I didn't notice that. That's cool.
Because he's in the heart of the sun. And then we have Leo Quintum being like, oh, it was a wonderful ceremony. Just great. Even Luthor seems to find things into it. Now, let's make Superman 2. Like,
Big ass Superman logo where the S is a 2.
which is fucking Superboy, who is a great character.
Does Superboy wear that? Because
No,
that would
he
be
does not.
great. Superboy should start wearing that. Number 2.
So this was supposed to, after he finished this, Grant Morrison wanted to do a series of one-shots, kind of still in the All-Star Superman oeuvre, but tying into different moments of Superman history. So one would be like Love Letter to Golden Age. One would be more, never happened. But when Morrison got Action Comics for the New 52, they took their ideas for that All-Star Superman one-shot of the Golden Age one and just plopped that in the New 52. And it's why that book makes no sense when you line it up with the rest of the New 52, but it's one of the best books of that era.
Yeah.
I love Morrison's take on Superman. As I said, even if I disagree with like their take on Clark Kent, but the idea of this all-powerful being that is just decent, is just trying, I think is... It sounds like that's why this new movie is supposed to work.
Yeah, it's really good, guys.
Fuck, I want to see it. I'm going to see it probably in the next week or 2.
Okay, I gotta complain about a thing for just 1 second, and it's not important, but it's something I've noticed since the movie came out. For years, for decades, when I'm like, I really like Superman, people are like, oh, here's why Superman's bad. It is constant. I get it all the
You
time.
know bad people. Because, like, oh, I like a thing. Hey, let me tell you why it's bad. It's a real dickhead thing to do to someone.
It's just a fucking nerd thing is really what it is.
And I'm going to start calling nerds out on, hey, quit being a dick.
But, and like I'm overstating, but like, oh, here's why I go like, oh, it's cool to you. Here's why Superman doesn't work for me. And then and which is fine. Not everything has to work for everyone. Oh, he's just too powerful. None of his stories are interesting because he's too powerful. I'm like, so you've never read any of his stories is the first thing you've told me. But like, moving on.
You know, I used to say that till I realized the characters I like are arguably even more powerful, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I'll
right?
just shut up.
But, and I said that too when I was a kid. And then I read some Superman stories and went, oh, I do like this. But like, for years, he's too powerful. That's why it's not interesting. And then this new Superman came out and he's not all powerful God mode. And and it's mostly from people making bad faith arguments and like still being mad that the Snyder movies are done.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be done by now anyways, just because it's been a decade. But being like, this movie doesn't get Superman. He's all weak. He's getting beaten up all of the time. I'm like, I thought that's what you fucking wanted.
Wow, I completely forgot. Until you brought up Man of Steel and the Snyderverse, I really forgot those movies fucking existed.
Man of Steel is a movie that I deeply disagree with parts of, but I don't think is an absolutely terrible movie. It has moments of greatness stuck behind sepia tone.
And fuck, Cavill looks good as Superman.
Cavill
Yes.
looks great
Yes,
as
he
Superman.
does.
I thought he was fine as Superman, even if, I don't think he ever quite landed Clark Kent right, but that's fine.
I mean, I don't know if anybody's landed both entirely.
The
Guys,
guy
this
from
new one's really good.
Also, the guy from Superman and Lois pulls it off pretty well. Tyler Hoechlin?
Yes, Tyler
Okay.
Hawk. I guess I've never heard anybody say it out loud, but I could probably actually spell it if I needed to right now.
But like, I get it. Tobey Maguire never quite landed was a really great Peter Parker, but was only kind of an okay Spider-Man on the scale of things. Well,
Whereas
Andrew
Andrew
Garfield was
Garfield's-
a really good Spider-Man and not a very good Peter Parker. Like,
Yeah.
fucking mix those two in a blender and you finally get the right balance. But don't.
don't,
Yeah, please don't,
blend
listener. Please let him out of the blender.
That's a big blender.
Also, where did you get Tobey Maguire and why do you have them?
Speaking of Silver Age schemes,
Oh my god. I know Gaiman's problematic these days, but have you ever read there's a Riddler story he wrote where it's Riddler being like super sad that everyone's just killing people now instead of doing like their big goofy.
Yeah, I've read that one.
He's like standing on a typewriter, like having, I think, kidnapped Gordon, being like, we used to do madcap heists and then everyone went home. Now they just shoot him in the head. Like, I can't compete in this.
Not even fun.
Does anyone else have anything else on Superman? Or
This is reminding me that I need to get caught up on Absolute Superman.
yeah,
I should start that. / also get caught up on Absolute Batman.
And Wonder Woman.
and,
Martian
do
Manhunter.
not
All of them.
sleep on Wonder Woman or Martian Manhunter.
I need to read more of The Flash, but number one wasn't hooking me near as much as any of those others.
Neither Flash nor Green Lantern seems to be doing it the same way, although both of them sound like they are pretty good books.
I've heard praise as they've went on, so I am curious, especially because it wasn't bad, but compared to the others.
Yeah, unfortunately, when you launch with those 3 fucking bangers, it's like unfair.
Batman's real good,
I
guys.
know. I know. We will be doing those episodes soon, I promise. Next time, though, we will be going back to Doctor Who.
Yes.
Heidi should be with us again. And yeah, that's it. That's
I think
Doctor
we're
Who.
only going to do the first half of the new season.
Yes, I don't remember if the season is 4 episodes or
I wanna say it's
8
8
episodes or
episodes.
10 episodes.
I want to say it's a total of 8.
Okay.
So the first 4.
As
And
long as
if
it's
it's
not
10, then it's the first 5.
as long as it's not a 2-parter in between. Either way, like halfway point.
Good point. We should actually look that up.
It's going to be a 3-parter in between.
Well, fuck, we had that on Farscape where we're like,
Yeah.
we're gonna end here, and it was part 1 of 3. And I'm like, well, guys,
Looks like we're not ending there.
I'm glad we noticed this like in time for us to watch an extra 2 hours of television.
But strap in.
But in the meantime, we're your generals of nerdery. I'm Zach.
I'm Tyler.
Dismissed.
This has been a General Nerdery Presents production. If you enjoyed it, please go hit like and subscribe wherever you're listening to it right now. Also, we'd greatly appreciate it if you checked out our other shows over at gnpresents.com. Thank you.